Hey everybody, welcome to Review with Me, your review guide of shows, movies, and everything in between. Be sure to click the like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get on with this review. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our first Review with Me live. Whoever's going to join, hello. If you're catching the playback, say in the comments, hey, I'm in the playback, just like that. But anyway, that's fitting for what we're about to review. We are reviewing, and just like that, season 3, episode 2. I don't know how much of a sign does Carrie Bradshaw need to know and understand this is a situationship. Throughout this episode, and I think also within the next episode, she talks about this is our house, this is our house. But Aiden didn't have a key until you finally decided he's going to have a key. We'll see about that. But anyway, let's get into this chronologically. Carrie starts off with meeting her former neighbor. I don't know if she's going to have another appearance. I was trying to figure out what was the point of her even coming back. But okay. Hey, girl. So she's talking about how difficult it is dating and saying to Carrie how she's so lucky that Carrie has found Aiden and she doesn't have to deal with it. If only she knew. If only this woman knew how unlucky Carrie is. But, everything's in the perspective, right? If Carrie doesn't feel that she is not in a situationship, then who am I? Who am I? Who are we to tell her any different? So this neighbor, she made Carrie this necklace. Remember, she's a famous, very successful jewelry creator. So she makes jewelry for a living, and she's pretty successful at that. So she made Carrie this necklace that includes the number of her former brownstone apartment, and it's very sentimental. It's a very nice, thoughtful gift. Bet. Now we cut to a scene of Carrie typing on her computer, talking about this wasn't her past. So now we're kind of getting into the theme of this episode about how Carrie feels like there's no point in living in the past anymore. Sometimes we get so caught up in the past, the nostalgia of past life, or what? Oh, remember back then? Remember when we did this? Remember when we did? I remember I used to date this guy many years ago, and whenever we'll talk again, like do another follow-up checkup call type of thing. This is again still many years ago when we will do these checkup calls. He'll always bring up the past. And it's to the point where what else do you have going on? Like what are we talking about right now? Why are we always talking about when we were 13, when we were 14? That's the gist of our conversation. And eventually that relationship sizzled out completely. But I say all that to say, I think sometimes you may find yourself in friendships or relationships, and all y'all do is talk about what was, right? What was then, all of that. And it's just, what is right now? What is the future looking like for us? What is the present looking like for us? Like, what do you have going on right now? You don't have a job right now. You don't have a degree you're studying for. What's going on right now? Carrie tells Aiden via speech to text. And when she's talking very long-winded. And I'm very surprised at how the iPhone that she has, maybe she has a better iPhone than me. I think I have a late enough model. But nonetheless, every time I would do a speech to text, if I'm pausing or if I say it's going to, or even like my diction, sometimes the way that I pronounce words don't come out the way that I want it to come. Like, it's not an accurate, they think it's a whole different word. That's how different I sound to the iPhone. So for Carrie to write down these speech to text messages to Aiden, and it's so long-winded, it's like, girl, just send him a voice note. But she's too old to figure that out yet. Not to be ages, not to be ages. Anyway, shout out to two of y'all being on here. I can't see the likes or the comments. If you're making, I'm on StreamYard, so I don't know if that's also a feature available for me to see, but I hope you are commenting. Okay, yeah, it shows up right here. I think it's just okay. So let me know if you are enjoying this episode so far of And Just Like That, or this season so far. We're still earlier on. We're still early on. I think from how episode 4 ends, and I'm a little behind. So this is episode 3 end. The way that episode 3 ends, I think there's something suspicious going on with Aiden. So we'll get to that. Okay, so let's get to this. So Carrie sends Aiden this text, this speech to text message talking about how she found rats in her backyard, and she's just like sharing her disgust, her discomfort, all of that via text. Naturally so, understandably so. But I also want Carrie to understand, I feel like naturally, if you are a woman who is from New York, if you're of a particular age, so you've been living in New York for many, many years, having rats in your home or in your backyard, any of that, yes, rats are just by appearance and by connotation, like we put a lot of negative connotation to rats. I kind of feel bad for rats. Like I don't like rats either. I'm not a mice, a rats girly. I'm not any of that. But I feel like sometimes, dang, can these rats live? Like we already use them for tests. We already use them for the scientific exams for our own benefit. Now we gotta shoo them away every time. It's just a lot. It's a lot. Not too much on rats. It's like I don't like rats either, but I'm just saying the way that Carrie reacted though, I felt was a little dramatic. Being that she is a woman of a particular age and being that she has lived in New York for many, many years, rats are not necessarily a testament to the cleanliness of your home. So you could have a very spick and span home, but if there's an entryway, a rat, a mouse, they may find their way inside. So anyway, she's telling Aiden all about this, and she's all upset, of course. She ends up deleting the speech to text message that she was about to send to him. Aiden suddenly pops up. He pops up at her home, and you thought, at least for me as the viewer, I thought he popped up and was easily able to get inside is due to him having a key. Because again, in the beginning of this episode, Carrie mentions he has his own key or our house. Like she's talking about it as if it is their shared home. Something, okay, he's able to just easily let himself in because he has his own key. But come to find out, he was able to come in because the Terminator or exterminator Arnold Schwarzenegger came up. No. But the exterminator came and was doing their work trying to get rid of these rats, and because the doors were open, Aiden was able to come inside. So he pops up. Carrie's like, ah! You know how Carrie is, super dramatic, but that's her role, so it is what it is. He then apologizes. He apologizes for how he responded to her when she tried to FaceTime. Remember last episode, in episode 1, when she tried to FaceTime him on some freaky deaky time, and he's like, Carrie, I only call you, bitch. That's what he wanted to say. But he's talking about, oh, it was a late night. I'm sleeping next to my son. Carrie, why are you calling me? Like, super rude. Super rude. That would have been enough for me to be like, okay, bye. Okay, bye. I'll see you when I see you. I'll make time for you whenever you're in town, type of thing. But I'm not going to give you all of my energy if this is how you're going to treat me. So I do appreciate that Aiden apologized. I do appreciate that. And now they get into a conversation about the dynamic of their relationship. So they're sitting in her tight ass kitchen. Mind you, this is not a brownstone. This is not the same home that she was once in, that we know her to be in. She's in this big house. She's in a house. And her kitchen could be very huge. But I guess she purposely sectioned out this tiny corner to appear as if she's living in a bistro. So she has this little bistro dining chair and table and this old fashioned 1950s refrigerator. Just super extra. Aiden tries to clarify to Carrie that, yes, you can call me. I do think it's unfair that I responded to you the way that I did last episode. Imagine he says that. But last time you called me. And so Carrie is just being all I don't know, the way that she is, you would think that this is her first time dating, or this is her first time being with Aiden. Yes, their dynamic is very interesting, but have some smarts about you. Have some wit about you. She's quick to have these one-liners, these just quick, catchy, jokey lines that she'll say to her friends. But with these men, she has no backbone. She has no authority in any moment. It's just, okay, I won't talk to you. Okay, you call me, I'll be available for you. Okay, I won't call. Okay, I'll wait for you for 5 years and we won't spend time every weekend together. Okay. Okay, so now Miranda. We get to Miranda, and Miranda has an obsession with this new show called, well, I don't know the name of it, but it's very similar to Love Island, but with a queer twist. Okay, specifically for bisexual women. Okay, and again, we know Miranda to now be this late in life lesbian. Okay, all power to her. So she wasn't aware of the show before, but her coworkers were watching it on their phone, and she just got hooked in. What I think is happening, though, I think the writers of this show is aware of all of our reviews for And Just Like That, and how angry we are, to the point where, yeah, you could call it hate watching. You could call it hate watching because, yes, I'm going to watch it. And yes, I'm going to be upset, but I'm going to tune in because I've been invested in this franchise for many years, for 10 plus years. So of course I'm going to watch. Of course I'm going to watch it and be angry and pull out this review. So we have this show called, well, it's a lesbian Love Island. Okay. Miranda is now hooked onto it. Miranda and the girls, they're at this restaurant, and Miranda is talking about this show with Seema and Carrie, who know nothing about it. Carrie don't have a TV. She never watches TV, apparently. Seema's too busy hating men and looking all cold in the face. But as the waitress is preparing their fresh guacamole, Miranda is still talking about the show to the girls, trying to explain it to them. And this waitress is aware of the show, and she's chiming in, and it's a natural chime in. It's a natural connection. She's like laughing about it. But mind you, again, this show is centered for, or is on, lesbians, right? Bisexual women, specifically, actually bisexual women. So for this waitress to be interested, or to be aware of this show, Miranda, oh, another lesbian? Like, she finds any and every opportunity to just be so thirsty. Like, girl, we get it. This is your first time in your life in which you are exploring this new path, but not every lesbian or kind of lesbian you see around you do you need to have a physical relationship with. Like, let's just calm down. We talk about, okay, this little segment in this show, or in this episode, focus on Lily and her crush. Well, now she has a relationship where she's kind of seeing this guy named Diego, who's a ballerina. And remember the last episode, we basically see his jock. And we see him doing a lot. She's tonguing him down, Charlotte is interrupting them because she's trying to tell her about this college consultant, this college counselor that they could use to make sure that Lily gets into an Ivy League college. So we cut to Seema. Seema meets with Sydney, who is a matchmaker. Because again, Seema was talking about how she likes dating, but on some hate dating version. So you know how there's hate watching, there's hate dating apparently for Seema. This matchmaker is telling Seema that, look, if you just follow what I tell you to follow, if you just do what I say, you will be successful. She's telling Seema, you look very cold. You look very dominant, right? You wearing metallic, you wearing cheetah print. It's too aggressive. We need you to tone it down. So follow what I'm telling you to follow. Seema makes a joke and says, oh, so you want me to wear pastels and pearls? Sydney says, yeah, that's exactly what I want you to wear. So we cut to a later scene of Seema wearing pastels. Her hair is straightened. She has a pearl necklace on. She's very demure. She's listening. And it's actually a very good look on her. But wrapping up with that little part of the show, of this episode, I'm kind of moving around, but y'all can follow. Seema realizes that it's best for her to still be herself, right? It's best for her to still be herself, and a man is supposed to accept me as I am. Here's the thing with that. Though I hear her, right? Though I think, yes, you should be able to be yourself at your core. At your core, you should be, right? If you have certain quirks and interests about yourself, you shouldn't hide that or suddenly say, yeah, I'm very into football when you don't like football. But I think with Seema, she could use a little softening. Yes, she could use a little softening. She could be more inquisitive and caring about the other person instead of looking at men as just pieces of shit. You know, like that's what she does often. So she doesn't necessarily have to wear pastels all the time, but maybe you could add a little pastel version of cheetah print. Maybe you could just kind of soften it up. So again, not to say this is a pick me. No, it's not about being pick me behavior. It's about recognizing sometimes you're a little rough. Yeah, sometimes you're a little rough. And I don't think dominant women really want submissive men. I think dominant women actually want a man who could dominate them. Not on some like rapist stuff. I'm not saying anything like that. But I'm just saying at some point you should be able to, let me see. At some point you should be able to kind of just calm it down. Just calm it down a little bit. So we cut to Carrie. Carrie is speaking to the exterminator, telling them about her situation. I guess she had to call another exterminator because the last one ran off on her or couldn't do the job. And you notice on the truck it says rat-a-tat-tat exterminators. That was kind of funny. I like that little catch there. Carrie's saying she wants assurance. I want assurance that you will make sure the rats do not return. There's no assurance for that. Like you're in New York. You're in a very heavily populated area where people are literally on top of each other. And yes, you could do your part by being clean, by not hoarding things. But as far as assurance, 100% guaranteed, you can't expect that from someone. Just do your best every day. Do your best every day. Seema gets on this date with the matchmaker that Sydney matched for her, and she actually follows her. She follows the rules that she gave her. She follows the rules that she gave her. Okay, I guess I missed that part. Whatever. Let's cut to this part. Anyway, let's leave it here. Seema follows the rules. She's telling him, look, I'm dressed like this, but I don't really dress like this for real. I'm not being who I am. I'm actually more honest than anything, and this is who I am. The guy's acting like it's all right. He's like, oh, nothing sexier than an honest woman. Mind you, I'm thinking, oh, is he really into her? Does he actually like her? Does he like that? But he gets up and excuses himself. You think that he's gonna go to the restroom. Instead, he actually gets up and leaves. Like he ghosts her. He leaves her with the bill. He foots her with the bill. And it's just very rude. It's rude. It's passive aggressive. It's unnecessary. And honestly, Seema, you dodged a bullet. If this is the type of man who's going to first lie to you and say, yeah, nothing sexier about an honest woman. Yet, as soon as he says that, he ups and leaves. Okay, you could miss me. But what's so funny in this scene, Sydney was actually at the restaurant. She was in the background. She comes out of nowhere. As soon as the date leaves, she comes in, she sits down at his seat, and Seema tells her, well, look, your advice didn't work. I told him who I am, and this is who I am. I'm an aggressive, I'm honest, I'm rude as hell, I'm a dominant bitch. I'm a dominant bitch. That's basically what she said. And she's like, oh, well, he said he's still into me. And he says nothing sexier than an honest woman. Sydney looks at Seema like, ma'am, he actually lied. He texted me shortly after and said, I have enough challenges in my life. I have enough challenges in my life and I don't need this shit. Okay. So you can miss me. So he just ups and leave her. Seema realizes that I can't do this. I cannot do this. This is not who I am. And she leaves. Now, I don't know if we're going to see Sydney again in a later episode, but I think there is some learning that Seema could do when it comes to dating and when it comes to how she appears and how she presents herself to men. Like I said earlier, it's not about changing who you are at the core. It's about being mindful of how you come across. I'm not a dating coach, but I'm just saying. So I'm going to leave it on this image here. This is from an earlier scene, but this is still relevant to what I'm about to say. Carrie has this new landscaper. Okay. This landscaper came right after she got the rat situation situated, got it fixed, and she hired this guy. I wish they would have hired someone else. I wish Carrie would have hired someone else. I wish the cast, the producers would have hired someone else. I don't think this is the guy. I don't think this is the guy. Now, clearly, he's going to be a reoccurring appearance, at least in this season. Seema, we learned that she finds him a bit interesting, or she finds him attractive in the next episode. We'll get to that in another video. So I'll make another live for that. But she gets to that. And I feel like he, not to be ageist, but I think he's a little too young. I think he's a little too young looking. And if Carrie is looking for something more stable, I don't know, just by appearance alone, if he could give her that or if he wants to give her that. Anyway, so Carrie's cat almost escapes. He saves the day, and it ends with basically him introduced to us and to Carrie. So now we're under the impression that we're going to see a little bit more of this man here. Maybe there's going to be some contention between Carrie and Seema because Seema is interested in this man. And this is shown later on, either in this end, in the end. Okay, Tourette's, in the end of this episode, or it's shown episode 4 or 3. I remember I forgot it. Nonetheless, I think this is not the right guy. We'll see. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see y'all next time with another review of And Just Like That. Goodbye.